Tell us a little bit about your thoughts on digital monopolies and perhaps the antidote to them.
Yeah, so I work at Microsoft and I'm very involved in the tech space. I'm a big believer in the power of digital platforms to offer lots of opportunities of technologies to do all sorts of things for us. And I think that that power won't be fully unleashed until people are able to, in an open and interoperable way, make full use of all of those systems. Right now, a lot of that power is concentrated in the hands of the people who sort of scrambled to take control of those platforms. That wasn't the original intention in creating the internet. The original intention was that there would be these open protocols that would enable people to do all sorts of things. But the original open protocols really just let people put out speech, let them say things online. It didn't really empower them to do all the things you need to do to have a market economy. Didn't have digital payments. It didn't have identity systems. It didn't have ways of people keeping track of and securely transacting in data and computation. And because of those problems, all those other elements ended up being sort of taken over by these feudal lords who now control so much of the digital space. And I think what we fundamentally need is investment by universities and the public sector and other places to like realize the true vision of cyberspace, which was one where all of those fundamental things that make markets possible in the real world are possible online.
So you see it through investing in alternative platforms or alternative technologies? How does it work?
Yeah, I want to see the foundations basically of fundamental human rights, rights of property, rights of commerce, rights of identity and personhood, like things like passports. I want those to be available in the digital space. Right now, they're only available in what we call meat space in the tech world. And without those fundamental human rights online, you have to go through Facebook or Google or Amazon just to do the most basic things you'd want to do in the world, or PayPal. We need to make those available as not even public services, but fundamental infrastructure that's available to everyone, independent of government or et cetera. And that is what they've done in Taiwan. Taiwan is the world's leader in creating a digital space that's actually achieving these goals. And it's been incredibly successful, both in its economy, its response to the pandemic, its response to misinformation. There's no reason why we can't do that more broadly.
Is this, how does this interplay with the metaverse?
Well, the metaverse is, it's a parallel reality, but it's going to be a parallel reality on the current trajectory where your whole life is going to be owned by a company town. Yeah. And nobody wants to live in that world. We want to live in a world of open commerce, which has to be enabled by having public streets that you can walk down and public markets where you can trade and public bridges so that you can bring your products to market. And those, and passports so that you don't get stopped everywhere, and public security. We don't have any of those affordances in the digital world. And we desperately need public-private partnerships and international things to invest in making it possible to actually have like a decent liberal democratic society in the digital space. And instead, we just get people wanting to regulate things and slap down things, or people wanting to defend these monopolies. And we need a different agenda that actually proactively invests in creating the technologies we need to make that world possible.
We've got about 20 seconds left. Are cryptocurrencies part of the solution then as well?
At some level, in some ways, but I'd much rather see a concerted multi-sectoral effort than a bunch of sort of random anarchists out there throwing ideas that aren't half-baked, out into the world.